All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into game number 1 in a brand new best of 3. This one will not be a qualifying match for the TING Open European qualifiers, but it will lead into one. The winner of this will play a laser or sort of, so Terran or Protoss versus Zerg guaranteed. Spawning in the upper right side of Dusk Towers, though, it is going to be my Insanity's yellow Terran player. He's really good at TvP. It's Botvinnik.
In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, it is Strange for Cascade.
So we made some jokes in the lobby about the game and specifically Botvinnik not abusing the stalemate timer. But then he pointed out, Strange that is, pointed out that there's a game duration infinite. Is that new?
That's no. That's just for because you know how like tournaments have a game duration of like 20 minutes or whatever.
Ah, okay, yeah.
That has nothing to do with the draw timer.
I thought for a moment, I was like, oh damn, that's like kind of crazy if they like put that in already because of that match.
No. That's been there forever, and if it's default infinite, so that wouldn't have affected it. No, I wish that's what people were bringing up though, and like all the Reddit threads and whatnot. They wish that in tournament play there was like basically an infinite mode where like you didn't have a draw timer, but it's just it's sucky for like the hopefuls, right, and whatnot. But it is a legitimate part of StarCraft to have draws. They're just usually, I feel like in the past, they're usually determined by the admins, which is another thing they wanted to bring up, which is like, it should be determined by the admins instead of the actual game forcing a win or a loss, or a draw in that case. So, all interesting things to bring up, but it's something that has literally only happened, I think, once in 6 years. So...
Well, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, in most situations, and this was a heavily debated topic when it came to the Strange game, I think if that's like a tournament that's worth only $5,000 and no WCS points, and like that's even the grand finals, I think in some situations, Polt might actually just say, okay, you got the win. But because there's so much more on the line, there's so much more money, it was a big WCS pool of points, like, you couldn't just give up like that. So...
Yeah. In my mind, that some people were calling Polt like a bad guy for doing it, I guess, which I don't really agree with, because it's along the same vein as people calling a Terran who lifts his CC, realizing that type of draw can happen, a bad guy, when really it's just the rules of the game, and okay, sometimes it favors Terran a little bit with the draws with that, but it is part of the game, and there's no bad guy. Like, they both saw the timer, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
To explain, by the way, too, the reason we're talking about this, it's already an old point that's been talked about to death, but it's just more emphasis on how good of a player Strange is for those who have never seen him before. Again,
yeah.
Botvinnik we know is good because we've cast him hundreds of times in the weekly cups. Not so great versus Terran, not so great versus Zerg, amazing versus Protoss. Strange, however, is a player you may have only seen for the first time at WCS. Some of you may have never actually seen him before. So just mentioning that he could take the game to such lengths versus a player like Polt, I think really does speak a lot to his character and his skill.
Yes, so this PvT should be very, very good, as well as the TvP, because Botvinnik it seems to be, pretty foolproof at his best matchup as far as cast games go. I don't know about his own ladder, is TvP.
I really, like, he's not doing it this game. I really like the tank pushes he was doing for a long time, too. Those were dedicated, but they worked really well in a lot of situations.
Oh, yeah. Especially, he had one specifically for Dusk Towers, so... I don't know if he'll set one up in this best of 3. Maybe he's changed his style, because I do remember the last time we cast him kind of being like, oh, what happened to the tank pushes?
Well, either way, just a quick note on this as well. Partoof coins I've submitted an order for, but I have to wait for confirmation at this point, because Partoof brings this up in chat. As Lupa, this has been subbed forever, he wants to get one of the coins. We actually ran out without realizing. We each have like maybe 10 between us at this point. There's still a couple left, but... we're going to be ordering a new batch, or rather we've placed an order for a new batch of another 500, so now it's just a matter of like confirming it, having them actually minted and made, and then shipping them out to Zombie Rep so we can mail them out and all this good stuff. So they're on the way, but there will be a hiatus. We made a Facebook post about it, but we'll mention it here just because I know the Partoofs are a pretty big deal. Some people sub strictly in the hopes and dreams of one day obtaining one of these wonderful medallions.
Yeah. Okay, so same problem as the last series with this little tiny, just very difficult to actually get to spot for the Liberator that does actually exist, unfortunately. So it doesn't deny all of the mining, which is why you don't usually see such extreme tap outs. In fact, it doesn't deny mining right now, which is kind of funny. Like, there you go.
Yeah, scooch forward, like pixel by pixel.
There you go. Now there's that perfect one that does stop at least 2 of the mineral patches being mined. Annoying, but not necessarily game over, especially if you did go for a third base and you are mining the third base. Like, that's still you still don't have enough probes to fully mine all 3 bases anyways.
Widowmine's in the third. Strange
But
not looking this
that's
direction.
where the Widowmines go. Hey,
Yeah.
that was pretty perfect.
That's 9 kills, and he's going to get 1 out. In fact, he might even shuffle that over the natural just to use it over there. There's a big attack, though, on the way in at the front door. I don't know if Botvinnik can actually hold this right now. I like the idea of the Raven, but it's not got the energy for a point defense drone.
Well, an auto turret could still help out, but you're right, and he does realize that, oh, wait a minute, it's Blink. Throw something down, the auto turret, it's actually very, very helpful.
Yeah.
I don't think Strange realized how many Marines were behind this, though. He saw Botvinnik, with only like 3 Marauders or something, and said, okay, I could do this, but not so.
He did drop that Widowmine off in the natural base, by the way, so deny mining up here. Lots of damage done. And I forgot we got BaseTradeTV graphs, so we can show you guys pretty much the second those Widowmines and the Liberators started going down, this just started bleeding yellow across that bar. It took such a good army fight as well that Strange doesn't really, like, Botvinnik doesn't know that Strange can't possibly do any more aggression. Even if he used every warp and available, that's like 3 units.
Well, I'm feeling pretty damn good for Botvinnik. I mean, the denial on the Blink Stalkers was just as big as the Widowmines being hit here, and Strange really does not have a very good army.
Botvinnik may not realize it, but he can pretty much just push to win, especially with Stim being completed. The Raven's going to get sniped, and that sucks because that was free detection, but regardless, it wasn't an important part of the army. If he just goes across the map, he's going to kill anything he runs into.
Yeah. This actually is looking just straight up game over. I mean, Strange with 1-1 on Blink Stalkers, that provides like a lot of like, okay, if you're really, really good, you can do something, but it's still, it's probably just a numbers game. Photon Overchargers are getting prepped back at home with 3 pylons on the way. That's a 30 army supply lead that I don't think Photon Overchargers can actually make up. Orbital is on the way too for Botvinnik, so his economy is going to be fine behind this, and yeah, there's not even any adepts.
I mean, I like this attempt, but as you see, 2 missile turrets are going to thwart this, buying even more time. SCV is getting transferred here towards the potential 3rd. Production should now be able to deal with the 3 adepts that are coming that warp prism. I think Botvinnik just needs to push. If he goes back home and pays any attention over there, he's wasting opportunities. As he does come up the ramp, a couple force fields go down, but that's not going to stop anything. The overcharges are not a problem as the pylons get picked off immediately, and this army just falls apart in a matter of seconds. There's just no way 3 Stalkers are going to hold against this army. So Botvinnik has, what, a 60 supply to 7 an army. He's got this. GG.
Well, made it look easy.
He did. Oh man, a button came undone. I look a little bit slutty. Excuse me, guys. 1 second.
Do you know?
I was scratching my chest. I didn't realize I popped the button undone on my shirt. So don't want to show too much cleavage. This isn't a cam guy show, okay? Hashtag fake gamer guy. Well, let me cue up the next intro. What's the map?
Frozen
Temple. All right. So also, during that last game, I had forgotten that I had smushed my nose this morning because it was like, I feel fine, I'm breathing through it now and all this good stuff. So I went to scratch it. It fucking hurts so bad. Okay, ready when the players are. As we get into game number 2 in Frozen Temple. Again, thank you guys for joining us here for the TING qualifiers. It's really awesome. I know some people are coming back like, thank God BaseTradeTV is alive. We're going to be live every day this month, guys. So make sure to stay tuned. That was the worst smile I've ever seen. We'll see you in a sec. All right, folks, we are back. And Zombie, I just want to say if the goal was creepy, you nailed it.
Thank you.
All right, spawning in the upper left side of Frozen Temple. It's going to be the Yellow Terran player, my Insanity's Botvinnik.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it is Strange.
Strange is down 1 at the moment. And what I really find interesting about that last game was Botvinnik, I don't feel did anything too crazy. Like, okay, Liberator and Dust Towers, maybe you find that abusive spot, maybe you don't. But the Widowmines were unreacted to. He got them in 2 different bases, no less. I mean, and a lot of this had to do because Strange wanted to get aggressive. If Strange had played a slightly more passive game, that may not have looked the way it did at all.
That is true. If pylons were in the appropriate positions for the Widowmine drops, you know, of course that Liberator couldn't really have anything done to it, unfortunately. But if the Wood of Mines had not done enough damage, and the Blink Stalker attack would have been done a lot safer, calmer, like more prepared for Strange, and then actually could have done a lot in keeping Botvinnik at home. His only attack would have been the Wood of Mine drops. Unfortunately, I think it made him feel very hurried, and that type of style, that type of play, really requires a lot of finesse. I'm always impressed when Protoss players can make the Blink Stalker aggression work. I wasn't back in Heart of the Swarm. I thought it was bullshit. But in Legacy of the Void, I think it's a lot cooler. It's a lot more, like, you know, skill, like, apparent. They're actually keeping the Terran back, and then they go into that third base and whatnot. But what? It's true. Blink Stalker all-ins are so stupid in Heart of the Swarm.
I just love the unfiltered attitude for it, because I'm right there with you in that same sentiment. How many times did I die in fucking like, Polar Night and other dumb, stupid maps? Like,
there are at least two things in StarCraft that at the time people swore were not overpowered and you should learn how to deal with it. That was Broodlord Infestor and Blink Stalker all-ins. But once things changed, everyone was like, yeah, that was kind of bullshit.
Time Warp was another aspect of that too, where I remember initially they're like, just learn to play around to predict the Time Warps, and then they nerf it and everyone's like, wow, this made an insane difference to the point where I can't even blink all in anymore.
Yeah. I'm not even as mad as versus Protoss for that. Like, Zerg, and they're like, oh yeah, Broodlord Infestor was kind of stupid. Oh my god, I was so mad at so many of my Zerg friends.
Well, it's a good thing. This always seems to happen the second we start talking about Terran woes of the past. Nathaniel shows up, and he hits that 22-month resub button! Ding, 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 ding. Thank you very much, man. And of course, all our other subs. Guys, I'm so bad at. We've been trying to do this. It's so weird. Somehow 11 days undid like 2 years of like shouting people out, and I can't do Twitch chat and stream anymore. So I'm getting back into it. I promise. If we miss your subs and we miss your shoutouts for like this week, it's supposed to be like 1 day because I thought we'd really get back into it. Please know that we still love you. Please know that like you're not like ignored. It's just difficult to do 3 things at once.
Yeah, I was watching because we don't have much going on yet. It looks like another Wood of Mine drop and another Blink Stalker build. Hopefully it looks different for Strange though in a couple of minutes. But I was watching Attack or whatever, you know, Attack on the Show but on Twitch. You've seen that or heard of it, right? Oh, I thought I talked to this people before. You know, Attack of the Show is on G4, and then Kevin Prayer or whatever just basically made it for Twitch.
You've talked about Attack of the Show before, and I remember bringing up that we didn't have that in Canada, so I still don't really.
Oh no, but I remember talking about the Twitch channel, and then you kind of I could have sworn you made like a jab at it because it didn't really get that many viewers. Sounds like something you would do.
It is something I would do, but I really don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Like,
well, anyway,
I'm not trying to leave
so
you hanging.
it's a talk show, right? But they did it. They pretty much converted it to like Twitch. So it was on the front page last night, and I was watching it. Oh, nice. Cool. That's a decent scout. But anyways, at the end, I caught the end, and what they did was they got those party poppers, you know, the ones like we had. And lots of time, and at the end, they would shout out all the new subs and then party pop for each of them. And I was like, that's actually kind of a cool idea. Made me feel special to get a party popper.
We'd have to buy so many party poppers.
To be fair, for them, it was new subs. If it was all resubs, you'd have to get 800 plus party poppers.
You consider, apparently we can't talk about how much money we get per sub, but like, I think the cost of a party popper is about equivalent to, so you wouldn't really be... There wouldn't be a cost-effective way to celebrate it.
I guess we got more expensive party poppers. You're right. Yeah, that didn't go so well. This game's actually went much better for Strange already, just with that. That's right. We got expensive party poppers. Now let's talk about these little tiny ones. I don't know if you've ever had like a party bag. Anyway.
No, I feel bad because normally we're like so in sync on all of this stuff, but this is like 3 things in a row where I'm just like, oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been to parties. I never had G4.
I didn't have friends. We didn't have America. What's going on? Because I wasn't in America, we didn't have the freedom to throw parties.
Why is Avigub cursing a lot? Not professional. Fuck you. No, I don't care.
Wow. Okay. Don't worry, guys. I'll let the boss of BaseTradeTV know the feedback later, and maybe I'll deal with this young ragamuffin. Stalkers, though, en masse, will be able to break a bunker with no issues repairing. But truth be told, it's like almost a sick bait to have him take this fight. Like for Botvinnik, he wants the Stalkers attacking into him. Now the bunker does go down, and he pulls a little bit late, but point defense drone not ready to go once again. Ooh.
Oof, that is very close. Definitely repair that Raven. It's been very helpful. in well, even last game it was still pretty helpful, but definitely that first game. Medevac's finally out to help as well. A lot of these Blink Stalkers are low on health, so yeah, they're just simply running out of health to continue, even with impressive blinks. And Sim is not quite close, but it's getting there, and Strange's got to be careful.
By the way, some folks are asking why Snoot's not playing today. Snoot and Mana both have invites back to the next season, so you won't see them in any qualifiers at all. Or to this season, excuse me. They're already in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stalker's blinking back. Some nice fancy footwork out of Strange. Well, this didn't work so hot in game number 1. It's looking better here in game 2, but it's still, right now, far from winning. And a lot of these Stalkers are really low. But the point defense string gets popped. That was like Botvinnik's secret defense. Other side of the map, a Liberator sets up, but there's a third base to go to. So, I mean, really, Strange is doing just fine.
This is the game that most Protosses imagine when they do this. You know, this Blink Stalker aggression, not really all in, but still if it's an opportunity to go ahead. This is what they imagine, like a lot of good pressure, taking pretty good trades, although now it's turning into a very bad trade. He definitely should have retreated as soon as he pulled back to take another fight, and then getting your economy back up at home. But of course, as we bring that up, it's like almost a caster curse, but Strange loses a majority of his Blink Stalkers. He loses about half of his mining and 12 probes, and is suddenly not looking so hot.
Yeah. Now, I like the shift over into the Marauders, recognizing that Stalkers are going to be a really big issue. But the problem is that War Prism. Here's some Adepts. There's not really a lot of anti-air to actually take out the War Prism itself, so actually Strange pulling back, not a bad move, keeps it alive a little bit longer. But that same Warp and that same attack can come in while the Stalkers hit the front, and this is where it gets a little bit scary, because Botvinnik is in a bit of a strange situation where normally Terran doesn't have to worry about splitting like this, but he's certainly going to have to if that Warp Prism comes back.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be very annoying. Hopefully the Liberators can take it out though. This is not all of Botvinnik's army. Here it comes down. Once again, Strange almost making the mistake of blinking all of his units into what is mostly Marauders, but luckily only blinked in about 5. This Warp Prism chose the wrong place.
It's just not having any luck. Backs away once again.
Man. Yeah, that's pretty low now too, so it's gonna be very careful.
Well, the base is being fully saturated for Strange, looking nice. Of course, that main's going to be mining out here soon, so it doesn't need like 60 or 70 probes. But I am curious where he plans to go from here. Right now, he's coming up with +2 weapons. We got Immortals. It all looks pretty standard, but like there's no advancing on to Colossus or a Stargate or anything like that. Not just yet, at least. So if he's hoping to win the game with Blink Stalkers and Adepts, that's going to be a really hard task to pull off.
Well, this Warp Prism being taken out is actually going to be a big relief.
Forgot the turret, I guess.
Yeah, missile turret took it out. Anyways, Liberator's gonna catch it, or probably just Marines being produced. Yeah, this upgrade's being a little delayed here for Botvinnik. It kind of sucked because he could have a really good upgrade lead. The Strange only about halfway into his +2, but unfortunately it was. He's on his way to his Liberators, as in more than just 2 at a time, so yeah. Starport's on the way. And honestly, even without the Liberators, just like mass Marauders versus what is still a lot of Blink Stalkers, although Devs have been added in, it's quite scary.
Out of position and not the correct spot for this. Strange is going to find himself getting some kills, which is nice, but can he stop the army that's coming up? His supply is already behind by quite a bit, not to mention not all of it's even here. Most of it's across the map, and most of it's the Adepts you would want to kill these Marines. Yeah,
exactly, and at least a buffer from those Marauders. The Marauders on top of those Stalkers, and they're pretty much dead. Only like 1 Immortal? Yeah, only 1 Immortal to really help rip through the Marauders as well, and that's probably just going to get... I mean, maybe a couple of kills, but more importantly, a third went down. 19 SCVs have gone down behind this, but I mean, equal amount of probes now.
It's a trait that will probably eventually go better for Botvinnik just because he does have Liberators at home, and there's no anti-air across the map. It is all just Adepts on the ground. So holding up in the main is not at all out of the question. Once again, we don't have concussive shells, so it's making this chase a little more difficult for Botvinnik than I think he'd intend, but Strange has lost pretty much all of his big, heavy-hitting units. Most of the Adepts are gone, the Immortal fell, now there's nothing to really stop the Marauders. Medevacs are a bit low on energy, and I guess that kind of sucks, but I mean, again, it's the Marauders more than anything else here that are just going to tear through everything. We do have the Stalkers coming from behind and from across, but that's not going to cut it. There's still so much bio, there's not even an overcharge available for this.
He's blinking for his life, and every single time Botvinnik has to stim, it really is hurting his units. If he had just a couple of Adepts in here, 1 Immortal, or like 4 more Stalkers, I think he actually takes that fight pretty well. And then they kind of trade out. Botvinnik, however, is still mining fairly well. His third command center, I guess, is floating over. Or did it die? Yeah, okay, almost died.
It's still the difference though of like there's a lot of mules. Production shouldn't be that big
Yes.
of a problem. And especially as he unloads and syncs up with the rest of the army, this is not that big of a counterattack. This is not nearly enough stalkers to just dive in and win the game, which is kind of what Strange has to do.
He's doing. If it was a situation where Botvinnik had very low production, continuing to force the units to stim and then backing off would be totally great. And Blink Stalkers would be great at that. But there is production, and if you can't heal your units, just make new units that are full health.
Botvinnik, you did too much damage, man. There's nothing for you to rest over here. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really curious about the lack of concussive shells, because that's not just one but 2 games he's done this, so it seems almost like intentional, but I don't know that you need to cut costs so severely as a Terran player.
Yeah, 50-50.
Well, GG gets called, and Botvinnik will take the series, advancing on to his qualifying match. Now, what's interesting is he will be playing a Zerg, and we'll see if he can keep this momentum going, because we do know he is exceptionally good versus Protoss. We can fall in the other matchups. Other side of the bracket, though, we do have Nurchio being the first one to advance into a qualifying spot down there, and he'll play Lambo or Xanster. We will be casting both of these best of 3s, but it is a question of which one is available first, is the one we'll hop into first. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Did we get a host, or where did these extra viewers come from? I don't know, but either way, thank you guys for tuning in one way or the other. But yeah, we'll go to a small break while we figure out what's going on. Go back to Kyra. Let's find that Kyra tips video. What do we want to do here? I don't know what NetGuard is, so I want to learn about this. See you guys here in a couple of minutes.